What's up, gamers? Sin here, and it's been a while. It's been about a month or so. I mean, I think the last video I did was the Biomutant video. And the more I played that, the more I kind of enjoyed it. But like, I don't know. Today I wanted to go at this with less of a scripted take and more of a I wanted to go at this video, um with like my unfiltered, like, not really, just like, I just want to like spitball my thoughts here, because you guys, for those that don't know me, you know that I am a grinder. I love games that I can just like jump in, get to the end game, smash down big bosses, collect all the loot I can, and kind of like go about my day, just mindlessly grinding through things, doing this, doing that, doing this, doing that. Um, well, for those that don't know me, my name is Sin. I used to stream on Twitch. I'm gonna be returning to Twitch streaming soon. I stopped for a little while because myself and my wife are currently in the process of looking to purchase a home. You guys can tell that hasn't happened yet because I'm still in my stream room slash where I'm keeping all the junk that we're packing up. So obviously I've been busy. I've been a very busy man. So I haven't had a lot of time to dedicate to my content, which is a little less than desirable for me. I also kind of went through a little bit of a anxiety with content phase, but I'm starting to kind of crawl myself out of it, and I'm feeling really good about that. So we're already like a minute in, like, 50 seconds into this discussion video, and I really just like wanted to throw out what I've been doing. And long story short, I've been playing Final Fantasy 14. I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy 14. More like in the past like 3 weeks, I think I've got like almost 100 hours already on Steam into this game, and I don't see myself slowing down at all. If anything, I just want to keep going and going and going, and it's gotten to the point where like my wife will be like, "Hey, you coming to bed?" And I'll be like, yeah, let me just queue up and let me just queue tank. Let me just queue tank, get a quick dungeon out. Let me get a quick dungeon out. Maybe this gear will drop. Maybe this will happen. Maybe this will happen. So like, my my biggest thing with this game is that it wasn't at all what I expected. What I expected it to be. Coming from a World of Warcraft background, and I know there's a lot of videos on YouTube right now talking big about like, "Oh, Blizzard's not doing what I want them to do. Blizzard's this, Blizzard's that. I'm gonna go to Final Fantasy 14 to get my fix." Okay, cool. Yeah, whatever. Do your thing, man. I played Shadowlands when it came out. I leveled through Shadowlands. And I think at this point in like my like perspective on MMOs in general is that, there's never really been anything that's tried shaking the formula nearly as much as Final Fantasy 14 has shaken the formula. I went into A Realm Reborn, which, for those that are kind of learning what Final Fantasy 14 is, A Realm Reborn is kind of the original storyline. It was like base game. Technically, there's a whole to do about it, how 14 1.0 was kind of a disaster, for better or for worse, and they basically just like dropped the giant dragon bomb on the world, reset everything, and I think it was 2.0, which was The Realm Reborn, came out, and the rest is history. So my perspective on this game, and I don't really have any gameplay to show you guys because I have genuinely been enjoying this game like in silence. I've been hanging out in Discord with my Nocturnal crew while playing it. I've been just kind of like, going through it with kind of as minimal interruption as I can, because like my first introduction to this game was when I was in college. Okay, I was in college from 2015 up until 2017, and my roommate played Final Fantasy 14, tried getting me into it. At the time, I only had a PlayStation 4, so I played it on PS4. I really enjoyed it, but I just couldn't get through A Realm Reborn. I just couldn't do it. There was just so much there. I don't think my like I don't think my mind, my brain was just like ready for a game like that after playing as much WoW as I had leading into Legion. And I just decided, you know what, maybe this isn't for me right now. Didn't play it. About like 3-4 years later, I kind of like delved in because I saw that Heavensward became free as part of the expansion, which, whatever. And a bunch of my friends, like the Final Fantasy community, does this. They push you into playing the game like ever so gently. It's almost like a Mormon knocking on your door, like, have you heard the good word of Final Fantasy 14? Whatever. So I took the bait. I bit it. I took the bait. Tried a Realm Reborn again. Created a brand new character. I just couldn't get through it. I couldn't get through it. It was just too much. Didn't feel like I was really like grasping what it was. Like, it didn't have its hooks in me. Then like fast forward another like 2-3 months later, I'm like, all right, like, try it again. I got a little further into Realm Reborn, same character, same save, same everything, and I'm like, I'm not getting this. I'm not getting this game. I don't know what it is about it. I'm not getting it. And then the Endwalker trailer came out, and more people at this point, I guess, in at least my social circles, had said like, hey, Sin, play the game. But they suggested to me, like, don't try to rush it. And I'm like, okay, all right, fine. So I got back into it. I got Shadowbringers, Heavensward, Stormblood, Shadowbringers. I got all the expansions, everything, right? Everything. I was like, whatever. It's 60% off, 80% off, whatever it might be. I think it was like $20 at the time that I bought it all. Paid for the sub, and I'm like, you know what? All right, I'm gonna dive in full account. We'll give this a legitimate try. That was a month ago. Now. And it wasn't until I started getting towards the end of A Realm Reborn's base storyline that I started to understand what this game really is. And it's a kind of a misconception. Yes, the game is an MMO. Yes, it has a lot of MMO style, like, activities, endgame types of things, transmog, whatever, like, fashion is the end game type of deal. Any kind of MMO you've ever played. Like, I played World of Warcraft. I play like MMO lights like Warframe or Destiny or whatever game you want to call it, I guess. I don't know. I just was like, okay, you know what? Like, let's try this. So I started leveling through the story, started going through the story, got past the end of A Realm Reborn, and then I realized what kind of game this actually was. I was staring into the face of one of like the most interesting stories I think I've ever seen in a video game, and that threw me for a loop. Getting towards the end of A Realm Reborn, and everything started piecing itself together. I started to realize, like, this game is a very story and narrative heavy MMORPG, or a very story heavy, narrative driven JRPG first. And like, once you get to the end of everything, it's like you're sitting in this cool place where I can keep playing this if I really want to, but once the story's over, like, you don't really need to keep playing it, which is fine. And from my understanding, Business Unit 3 or Creative Business Unit 3, Square Enix, they've even said that, like, this game like, I got to Heavensward, okay? And I know I'm jumping around. I wanted to have this as raw as I possibly could, because I'm so, like, excited going into this game every single day that I get off of my day job and I can log into it and I can continue the story. Like, it is that engaging. It is that engaging to me that, everybody had told me, get through A Realm Reborn, get to Heavensward, and you'll see why. I get to Heavensward, and I'm like, spoiler free, like, my very, very spoiler free, but I get to like the gates of Ishgard, and I'm like, whoa. And then I pick up the Dark Knight job, because I main tanks in every MMO I play, and I'm like, whoa. And then you start just going through the Heavensward story, and as the narrative unfolds, you start to realize that you aren't just some, you know, Johnny off the street in this, like, plucked into this world. Like, your character takes an active part in these world-changing events that I don't think any MMO has ever made me feel more involved in the world building, in the world's narrative. And this is classic Final Fantasy all the way through. And I remember very vividly sitting in a voice call with my friend who was playing the game as well. He's way further ahead. He's like end game content and everything. But we're talking, and I mentioned, I'm like, whoa, okay, I'm at that point. I have the Final Steps of Faith unlocked. Final Steps of Faith is the last major trial of the Heavensward patches. And I think it was from Revenge of the Horde. I'm still learning, like, where things were placed in the patches. So forgive me if I got that wrong, but honestly, when I was standing there, just like in front, and if you've played this, you know what I'm talking about. The entire boss fight, my jaw was on the floor. The music, the way you and the other players in the trials instance, like the way you and the other players are just dancing around, avoiding attacks, all while this somber song is just playing, and like you can feel like this is the end of a chapter that you actively took part in for so long that, you know, you're just like, when those final credits roll for Heavensward and you just hear the dragon song, it's mind-blowing. It is mind-blowing to me that I slept on this game for so long that I am so happy I can experience this as just like the way this story unfolded. And this is the big difference between like WoW and Final Fantasy 14, is that, you know, I can experience this story the way it initially came out, like the way it was meant to be played, right? I've only done one Alliance raid. It was the Crystal Tower you need to do to finish A Realm Reborn. I'm going to be going back. I'm going to be doing Alexander. I'm going to be doing all of the endgame content once I get through. Currently, I'm in Shadowbringers. I'm in the middle of Shadowbringers, so I'm getting there. I'm very much getting there. Stormblood was another great example of the music, the art, the world just being absolutely phenomenal. And this is just this conversation is just scratching the surface of this game. You know, putting into words just how special this game is. And, you know, going from being like very, okay, I'll give it a try, to where I'm at now, which is like 200 some hours into the game, 3 jobs, almost pretty much maxed out, in the middle of Shadowbringers. You know, I realize now this isn't the kind of MMO that you sit down and you blast your way through until the end. This is the kind of MMO where you sit down and you enjoy the story. You sit down, you're not here to get to end game and to start grinding all this stuff. That's not the reason you're here. The reason you are here is to take part in this world and to enjoy your time through the story and meeting all of these characters, because all of these characters stay with you throughout the game. These characters are with you throughout the game, and now, like, going back, being in Shadowbringers, and now going back and watching the Endwalker trailer again, I know these people, I know these characters, I understand what's going on, and that just makes it so much better, right? You know, and this is look, I'm very hard pressed for games. 2020, in my opinion, has been a lackluster year for gaming, and a lot of that is due to, you know, world circumstances, and that's fine. But, you know, every now and again I like to try something new, okay? And it's very rare that something new becomes something that I want to play regularly beyond that something new. You know, I play Destiny 2. Okay, I'm always back in there doing new things. I did Vault of Glass Day 1 over on Twitch. You know, I anytime there's something new in World of Warcraft I typically drop in, I don't think I'm going to be doing that anymore. I don't think I'm going to be doing that anymore. I think after, you know, playing this game for so long, playing Final Fantasy 14 for so long, I am in it. Like, I am in it and I can't go back. At this point, I can't go back. And I don't think I want to. I don't think I want to go back to any other MMO. I really don't. So, you know, I guess at the end of the day, my point with this video and making this was I just wanted to start opening up these new discussions, these new talking points, and getting excited for the games that I'm playing with those communities from those games, because, you know, like, I'm here, I'm on Primal Famfrit, and I'm enjoying my time with the game. I now, after almost, it's been 2014, I now, after almost, like, I don't even know how many years, I'm bad at math, 7 years, yeah. I now, after 7 years, understand why so many sing the praises of this game. It's as a game, mechanically, technically, structurally, it's genius. It has its downfalls. I think a lot of those come up a little bit into Stormblood. Stormblood's story, while fantastic, had some points in it where I'm kind of like, you know what, this could have been an email. But even at its worst moments, and that's just my personal opinion, even at its worst moments, the game still rocks. Like, there's so much that I want to do, and as soon as I hit end on recording this video and upload this bad boy, I'm going to be back in the game. So if you see a man named Draxus Sin chilling out on Primal Famfrit, rolling through the Shadowbringers campaign, be sure to say hi. And honestly, guys, if you liked this kind of open discussion video where I just don't even go scripted, I just talk to my heart's content at a camera, you know, if you like this kind of stuff, let me know. We'll do more of it. I'll do more of it. I'll do more of it, like talking points and whatnot. I'm not here to bore you. I'm here to just kind of give you my perspective on gaming and give you my perspective on what I'm playing and what I'm doing. And this is a new type of video content, feedback, call and response type of deal that I want to be doing. So if you like this, please hit subscribe here on the channel. Make sure you hit the bell for when new notifications come up, for when new videos come out. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at Sin on Twitch. Be sure to follow me on Twitch at Sin on Twitch _. Well, twitch.tv/Sin on Twitch _. And, like, honest to God, guys, like, I just want to go play more Final Fantasy. That's all I want to do right now. And for the next, like, 2 weeks to a month, or for as long as I want to be doing it, that's all I'm going to be doing until I move. And then after that, I'm probably going to be playing more Final Fantasy. So, talk to you guys later.